It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the second hour of That Business Show. Now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. If you ever wondered about how to get on the program, you can always visit tbsinterview.com and fill out the request form. You can see the requirements and also answers to FAQs over there. Again, tbsinterview.com. We're going to be talking about fast food healing in the second part of today's show. So we have Sarah Bingham in studio with us. She is a returning guest of the program. So we'll be talking about how to live a healthy life, as she is the founder of, again, Fast Food Healing. But up first, we'll be talking insurance talk with Sherry Perry Anzalone, which is a very cool name, by the way. And she is the broker and owner of Insure You Exchange. You can learn more about her throughout the discussion at insureyouexchange.com. Put the letter U in between insure and exchange. So Sherry Perry, welcome to the program today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So first off, tell us a little bit just about your business, Insure You Exchange, what you specialize in, and the history of it.
Well, I've been in the insurance business for 25 years, helping entrepreneurs, small business owners with their group insurance, their individual insurance if it was a smaller operation, life insurance, that sort of a thing. Right. So I've liked my job up until now.
Do you just do health insurance, or do you do other forms of insurance also?
Well, yeah, just health, life, disability, and group insurance for companies. I don't do any kind of liability.
Okay, and I know I've talked with health insurance brokers throughout the couple of years here on the program, and it's definitely an industry that's morphed over the last a couple of years. I've even talked to some who have left the industry altogether to go on to other forms of insurance like car insurance and property insurance, and for various reasons. Obamacare in the news again right now because of the rising premiums, somewhere upwards of 25%, even 100% in some markets. Even open enrollment beginning on November 1st. As a insurance professional, first off, what is your feelings towards Obamacare? Has it been beneficial? What are some of the weaknesses in Obamacare as we have it now?
Well, obviously, President Obama's goal was to provide insurance for more Americans. One of the things that I feel was not working was the pre-existing condition limitation. Over the years, we had to get all the health questions answered. And there were many people that I was not able to insure, or the rate up would have been so high they wouldn't have been able to afford it. The other aspect of the law that is obviously good, unlimited lifetime benefits. They expanded mental and nervous. Children actually in the state of Florida, dependents, can stay on until the age of 30. In other areas, it's 26, but in Florida, it's age 30. Mm-hmm. Most parents are like, I want to kick them off before age 30.
I hope he's not still in my insurance.
But that's what it is. And there are other aspects, free preventative care. But the main feature of this was everybody gets insurance regardless of their medical conditions. That's critical. I feel like they could have done this in a different way without upsetting the entire insurance market. I've been doing this 25 years. I have clients I've had for 25 years. Every year they look to me, what do I do this year? My rates went up. Mm-hmm. There was always something I was able to help them with.
What ideas do you have then? I'm interested.
So 3 years ago when we started selling, this is our 4th year enrolling in Obamacare. It was actually not too bad because the rates were still pretty low. For an individual making between $12,000 and $47,000 typically, they're going to get what we call a cost share reduction, a subsidy that offsets the high premiums. Just so you know, a middle-aged person like myself, if you went out on the market in 2017 to purchase insurance that guarantees your doctor will be in your network and people don't want to separate from their doctor, you're looking at about $750 to $800 a month. For a family of 4, It could be $1,800 a month.
And that was one of the talking points that was sold to the economy that turned out to be false, right? You could keep your doctor.
You can keep your doctor.
That was
We're going
quickly
to lower
dispelled.
each family by $2,500 a month. Absolutely not.
I think the thing that bothered me most about it, with any lawmaker's position, is when forget the lawmaker Nancy Pelosi or whatever said that we have to pass it before we can see what's inside of it. I'm like, we shouldn't be writing laws that people don't have the time to read. At least our lawmakers to vote on. That to me was a huge problem.
Right, and a couple of things that people don't know that are in that 1,000-page law is they are going to. They call them death panels, but it really isn't. Basically, with the new plans that are available, and by the way, this year, 2017, you've heard of other areas only having one option available. That's kind of true in our area. There's a couple of HMOs that have very, very limited networks that will be available, but there's really only one option available, Florida Blue. Mm-hmm. So it's true because the other carriers, Aetna, Coventry, Humana, and United, have all pulled out this year.
They've pulled out of just Florida, you're saying?
I know in Florida and many, many other states.
What makes the differences then between the states? Isn't this the same from state to state? Why do we see differences then in the Obamacare regulations from state to state?
It's different by county.
Why then? Why is that?
It could be the cost of going, it could be fraud in those various counties, the cost of the providers, the hospitals.
It's just also going to have to do with the makeup of the people who are paying in versus who's taking from the system too, and so all that comes into play then with the Obamacare premiums by the county even.
Right, absolutely. And one misnomer I would have to say that I'm hearing a lot is clients call me and say, "Well, my doctor says he's not going to take Obamacare." Okay, well, Obamacare is the slang name for the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
The Unaffordable Care Act now, but but basically that's the law. If you're buying insurance on the individual market, you're essentially buying Obamacare. You either buy it on the exchange because you're receiving that subsidy, or you're buying it off the exchange because your income is over that limit. But everybody is buying a plan that qualifies for the Affordable Care Act law. If you do not buy insurance that's deemed meeting all the essential benefits, guarantee issue, a 2.5% penalty per family member will be imposed at tax time.
Are they imposing that? I heard they actually weren't.
No, they absolutely are. I have many clients that have called me with these huge tax bills. But doing a little research, there is a form that you can get on healthcare.gov called the hardship exemption. Now, there's lots of hardship exemptions. And I have found one because I have over, 700 clients. And half of those got their cancellation letter this year, including myself, after having that same company for 7 years. My insurance was just canceled October 1. So one of the provisions in that hardship exemption is if you were canceled by an insurance company. So what I'm telling all my clients, you better save that letter in your file. I'm sending all my clients a hardship exemption form that they're going to be sending in if they want to opt out of the Obamacare law. Now, I don't recommend people going without insurance. What if you get cancer? I have a client just this past week was diagnosed with cancer this year, and she says her bills are in excess of $400,000. So when you hear the media say, well, the tax penalty is so much smaller than the insurance cost, well, yeah, but I think your bigger problem here is if you end up at Tampa General with cancer, stroke, heart attack, your bill's $50,000, or like this particular client, $400,000.
What
do you do
happens
then?
when if someone does come down with cancer or they have some type of extreme illness, unfortunately, and they do not have insurance? Do hospitals treat them?
No. I have had, now, if you go to Tampa General with a life-threatening, they will definitely treat you. Do you know how many calls I get every single year? People have foregone the insurance, thought that when they're falling down the stairs, oh, I'll just, call an insurance agent and get insurance. You can't do that. There's an open enrollment. And the reason they have open enrollment because insurance is guarantee issue. You cannot go without homeowners insurance. And when the hurricane is in the Gulf, call it to get it. So, no, I mean, I've had so many people call me over the years, and my heart goes out to them. I was just diagnosed with breast cancer or whatever. I need to get insurance as soon as possible. It's March. It's April. I can't get them insurance till the following January. So they will have to figure that out.
But they can do that with Obamacare, given that they're within the open enrollment period, though, right?
Right now, I have people all week calling me. You told me to call you back November 1. Well, it's not November 1 yet, but it will be Tuesday when it opens up.
And so that's the problem with the system. The young and healthy are not paying in, and then the sick are waiting until they get sick to enroll in the
and they have
care.
surgeries pending. They put them off. And they're going to sign up. Now, keep in mind, they're signing up November 1. The insurance takes effect January 1.
So they're still that way. What if they get diagnosed with cancer, say, like in the second or third week in December? Well, they know that they're still in the open enrollment period. So that's a benefit to them at that point, right? Then they could really take advantage of the system in those situations.
The open enrollment closes December 15th for a January 1st effective date. From December 16th through January 15th, you'll get a February 1st effective date. After that, until January 31st is March 1st.
So depending on when you're diagnosed with major illnesses, you could really take advantage of the system, and that's going to put a drain on the system overall.
You could take advantage of the system. And I actually have some ideas that can help save families lots of money. Remember, 60% of bankruptcies are due to medical claims.
Right.
So you absolutely have to have something in place for those unexpected claims. And you can't say, oh, well, I'm a young invincible, because they can have a $50,000 claim. It's for the unexpected. And so I feel that the government, there's this huge layer of cost. When they implemented that healthcare.gov, the marketplace, which is a nightmare for people to deal with. And by the way, if you're not getting a subsidy, you do not have to go on healthcare.gov. So some of the things that you're hearing on on the media is, 88% of people are getting a subsidy. Well, that's the tracking of healthcare.gov. My clients that do not get the subsidy, we don't go anywhere near that nightmare of a website, that nightmare of a bureaucracy that Obama implemented that is not helping control costs, keeping people healthy. There's so many other things that we could do to control healthcare costs besides putting in this whole layer that he did that is not working.
I was going to say, by subsidy, you're referring to the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare.
Well,
right?
Right. But remember, everybody's buying, people that are buying on the individual market are buying, quote, an Obamacare plan. It's the same exact plan. Whether you get the subsidy or whether you don't get the subsidy will depend on whether you go onto healthcare.gov.
And who qualifies for the subsidy? Is it strictly
between $12,000 and $47,000 individual. A family of four can actually make almost $100,000 a year and still qualify for a small subsidy. What a lot of people don't understand too is there's 3 different levels of subsidies. Somebody making between $12,000 and $18,000 a year, they will actually have a zero deductible $1,000 out of pocket. They can go to the doctor for $1. They can pick up a prescription for $2. So they're $6,800 out of pocket, which is what the out of pocket is for Medicare Advantage typically. And for Obamacare, somehow the government came up with that number, that's a number that we can live with for our out of pocket expense on major medical. But if you have lower incomes, your out-of-pocket might only be $1,000.
Good discussion here with Sherry Perry Anzalone. She's the broker owner of Insure You Exchange. You can learn more about her services at insureyouexchange.com. We got a little bit more with her when we come back from the break. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
Teresa Turner is a certified public accountant and the founder of Tax Happens, a boutique-style CPA firm providing small businesses and individuals with hands-on, personalized tax and accounting services. Although we would love to tell you how happy their clients are, we would like you to see for yourself. Tax Happens has 21 Google reviews and a 4.8-star Google rating, 17 Yelp reviews, and a 5-star Yelp rating, 38 Facebook reviews, and a 4.9-star Facebook rating. What sets Tax Happens apart is number 1, upfront pricing, 2, clear deadlines, 3, personally available year-round, and number 4, a willingness to empower clients to do as much or as little as they desire. Visit taxhappens.com for more information.
Savvy business owners utilize technology to connect with customers, communicate among teams, and collaborate with partners. Even with advances in technology, you all know it's not infallible. Where do you turn when your technology starts working against you? Who do you depend on to keep your team productive? Don't wait until your technology fails you. Get ahead of the crisis and contact the professionals at Alpha Computing Solutions so they can show you how to keep your technology running smoothly. Visit them online at www.alphacomputing.com.
Did you know the biggest challenge business leaders face today is creating an engaged and productive workforce culture? Bill Meyer Ham Consulting wants to help you solve this challenge. They will help you transform your workforce culture to produce amazing business results. Call Bill Meyer Ham Consulting at 941-201-4650 today or visit billmeyerham.com. That's billmeyerham.com. Have a conversation.
From the RP Funding Traffic Network.
Just some minor delays on eastbound Gulf to Bay Boulevard between US 19 and McMullen Booth. There was a crash near Bayshore Boulevard. It's now clear. Heavy traffic on southbound I-75 from before Bruce B. Downs to around Fletcher Avenue. A crash there in the left-hand lane. And still some heavy traffic on the southbound side of the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. Had a crash there in the right-hand lane near the top of the bridge. It is now clear as well. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Boys and Girls Club of America.
It's 3 p.m. School's out for America's kids. And when school's out, clubs are in. It's time to support the Boys and Girls Clubs. Visit greatfutures.org.
Today, a few clouds, breezy with a high 85. Tonight, mostly clear, low 68. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 86.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking to Sherry Perry Anzalone, who is the owner of Insure You Exchange. Learn more at insureyouexchange.com.
We talked a little bit, entrepreneurs, one of the things we don't often have is insurance. In small businesses, sometimes it can be, it was quite costly. And I think a lot of times there's a misconception now with many people stay with corporate jobs so that they have the health benefits. And you hear people talk about all the time, well, I'm with this company because of the benefits. And,
Right.
But I think anymore, we were talking about, so that's not so true anymore. That's pretty much a misconception at this point. It can be affordable for entrepreneurs and small business owners. So tell us a little bit about that.
Right. I mean, over the years, I've had, many people call me to say, look, I'm looking to start my own business, but our big concern for our family is the health benefits. So now, because it's guarantee issue, they really have to look at the whole picture. That should not stop people from starting their. I'm a big entrepreneur supporter. As you know, my son is an entrepreneur. So I feel like they need to first get with a good agent that can know their family, know their health medications, what their situation is, so we can advise them on which plan would be best for them. One plan I think is very good for entrepreneurs, small business owners, is a health savings account. It's been around for over 15 years. I was probably one of the first agents marketing health savings accounts here in the area. I've had one personally myself for probably about 15 years. And what that is the belief in, look, you try to stay as healthy as you can. You take your herbs and supplements, and you stay off the medications that the doctors are trying to push on you. And you go for a high deductible. Insurance is meant for what if you have the heart attack, the cancer, the stroke, the large claims. I call them, it's not really for the tire change and the oil change and things like that. So basically with the health savings account, you self-insure all the little things up to about $6,000, $7,000. And they allow you to put away between $4,000 for an individual, maybe $7,000 for a family, into a health savings account that is a line item tax deduction. You use that account for unreimbursed medical, dental, vision. You're using pre-tax dollars. So this is a great vehicle for small business owners and entrepreneurs to still have the protection that they need against a catastrophic and get that additional tax deduction. It grows tax deferred. You do not lose it if you don't use it at the end of the year, like people think with an FSA. So that is something I feel would be good as well.
By FSA, you mean?
Flexible spending account is something you would get at a corporate job where you estimate how much your medical, dental, vision would be for the year. You put it aside pre-tax. The key is you're using pre-tax dollars. But the money in an HSA grows until you're 65. So I have clients that have been on an HSA for those 15 years as well, thousands of dollars in their HSA account that they'll be able to use into their retirement. So, and the other thing I want to bring up too that I think is a flaw in the law is...
That goes together, flaw in the law.
Well, there's many flaws in the law, but this is a big one that I find affecting a lot of, normal Americans that work for, average salaries. What is happening is when you get insurance through your job, they're required to pay 50%. Some companies pay 100%. That's great. But to add your family onto the plan, it's $1,000, sometimes $1,500 a month to add your wife and your children. These people are making $70,000, $80,000 a year.
Right, so
they don't have an extra $1,500 a lot of times in their budget. They cannot go to the exchange to get the subsidy because it states in the law if your spouse gets insurance at work that's offered to the dependents, it disqualifies you from the subsidy.
Wow. A lot of stuff to know about health insurance, and especially with open enrollment right around the corner. Sherry, how can people best use your services? How can they get in touch with you?
Well, I've had many people that have tried to navigate the website, and basically they call me crying. So when I get off the phone, not trying to brag, but when I get off the phone with my clients, go, gosh, that was so easy. Yes, that is my job. I make it extremely easy. I know the law backwards and forwards. I know the plan. So please give me a call, email me, reach out. I can absolutely help you this year. InsureUExchange.com. Sherry at InsureUExchange.com.
And her phone number 813-361-3444. Again, 813-361-3444. Sherry, good discussion. Thank you so much for being in the studio today. Coming back from the break, we'll be talking with Sarah Bingham on That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
is secure. Call David Graham at 800-808-5009, 800-808-5009.
What if you could store your IRA or 401k where you could see, touch, and hold it in person in the form of physical gold and silver coins? With the Augusta Gold and Silver IRA, you can transfer retirement savings into physical coins and store them where you can actually see them. Getting started is absolutely free, so call now, 855-858-5807. Call toll-free, 855-858-5807 now for your free guide to Augusta Gold IRAs.
Hey, Bob, how's business? Is the new website helping?
Not good. I can't figure out how to get the website finished. How did you do it?
Easy. I called Web.com. They built my website for free. Then they promoted it on all the search engines.
Like Google, Yahoo, and Bing?
Exactly. And Web.com has helped grow my business so much, I had to bring on new staff.
Hey, if Web.com did it for you, they're perfect for me.
Call now, 1-800-535-8815. That's 1-800-535-8815. Again, 1-800-535-8815.
Heavy traffic on southbound I-75 from before Bruce B. Downs to Fletcher Avenue. Crash there, now off to the side. Also southbound 275 between Fletcher Avenue and Hillsborough. Southbound Veterans Expressway. It's slow between Lutz Lake Fern and Hutchinson. Crash in St. Pete, 66th Street and 38th Avenue North, and some slow traffic in Clearwater on eastbound Gulf to Bay between US 19 and the Courtney Campbell Causeway. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Racetrack. Racetrack's cooking up new breakfast sandwiches. Whatever you want in a fluffy croissant or buttermilk biscuit, they're making it fresh every morning. So how do you like your eggs? With ham and cheese? With crispy chicken or savory sausage? Head to Racetrack for whatever gets you going.
1250 winds, weather center forecast. Partly sunny skies, breezy today once again. Mid-80s for the high. Tonight's low in the upper 60s. See mid-80s once again tomorrow. Breeze leaves for Friday, though. Mix of sun and clouds, and look for that forecast through the weekend coming up. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Time to talk about healthy living. We have Sarah Bingham in studio. She's the founder of Fast Food Healing, and she's a licensed nutritional consultant. Learn more about her throughout the discussion at the website, fastfoodhealing.com. So, Sarah, welcome to the program today.
Welcome. It is great to be here, guys.
And Sarah is also a returning guest to the program, so we welcome her back as well. And so we're going to start off the discussion about the beige diet. So simply put, what is the beige diet?
The beige diet is what I am seeing 24/7. I am taking 24-hour recalls, meaning I ask people, what'd you eat in the last 24 hours? And I swear to goodness, it is really hard for me to find a color anywhere in that, meaning vegetables are gone. What goes when you're under stress? The vegetables, because they take time to prepare. And furthermore, fast food doesn't have veggies. So literally, I'm talking to pregnant women, I'm talking to business owners, I'm looking at what they're eating, and about the only vegetable that sprouts up on occasion might be a salad, and that's people's feeling like, okay, I got it in.
Doesn't it count? Does the lettuce count at all?
I'm hopeful. It counts a bit, but what goes through my mind is the most heavily pesticided plants are lettuce. And so people are not getting organic salads out. And so these are, no, I would not call this top of the line. I know.
So much for that theory.
Well, and it is depressing. And it's, I want to start a revolution. I want to get people madder than wet hens as far as how, what is going on with our food supply? Why are we doing this? The United States of America is top on the chart. If you want to create heart disease, cancer, diabetes, come to America and eat our food. Is that nuts or what?
What has caused all this rise in obesity? Is it the processed foods, the sugar that's in this stuff these days?
It's a whole gestalt of things. There's a whole series. But yes, basically the biggest problem we have is we turned the food industry into a huge money-making market rather than serving people and having an orientation towards health. No other country treats their food like we do. Someone was at a craft at a major manufacturing plant, and they had divided the plant in half, Canada versus the U.S. the Canadian stuff, they were not allowed to put the stuff they put in the American food, prepared food. And that's just one indicator. So here's the long scenario here. I'm going to take you back to how we evolved. All right? We evolved. Take somebody out in the middle of nowhere that's had, in the middle of Africa, that's had no influence from the United States of America, okay? If we look at their intestinal bacteria, which we have 4 to 5 pounds of bacteria in our intestines, and we know that when that has to have a preponderance of good guy bacteria. So think of it like a city. Okay, cities work really well when you have. Cities work well because you have about 90% of the population law-abiding citizens, right? But there's always the 10%, and when the 10% get out of control, riots happen, and it takes a long time to clean up that mess. So back to the intestines of your guy in the middle of Africa. We know that there's about 30,000 different types of bacteria in that intestinal tract, okay? Now, come to America, and the average is around 10,000 different species of bacteria in our intestines. And if you're not well, it's about 5,000. And we know that good guy bacteria produces B vitamins. It is the center of your neurotransmitters, how you feel, your happy serotonin, what makes you feel good. It also is the center of your immune system. So what's going on in our country? We have anxiety off the charts. We have immune systems at half-mast all day long. You eat sugar, your immune system is cut in half for 5 hours.
And sugar's in everything these days.
Thank you very much.
I know, I really like sugar.
What about natural sugars, though, in fruit? Because even if you eat an apple, you're eating sugar. How does that versus the...
You are. But now let's take a look at the difference. And this has to do with our thinking. We have been raised with reductionist thinking, meaning that we've been taught that you take everything down to its smallest particle, and that's what you take a look at. An apple is a whole product, and all of the nutrients in an apple, and by the way, my byline is it takes more than an apple a day. But at any rate, an apple's full of all kinds of antioxidants, and the sugar in an apple, yes, there's sugar, but there's also all these nutrients to turn it into energy. You take white sugar, there's no nutrients. It's an absolutely pure chemical. And what we know is the white sugar, white flour diet just encourages bad guy bacteria, okay? And so when the bad guys start ruling, now go back to the intestine, okay, that bacteria. Think of it like the Amazon forest. It's just this rich culture developing all these B vitamins and all that stuff. One round of antibiotics clear cuts the forest. And it never quite goes back the same way. So you've got antibiotics, you've got the other things that affect that are white flour, white sugar diet, the American diet, unrelenting stress, and any prescription drug. Who told women that the birth control pill will mess up your intestines? But studies have now come out saying that women are more apt to get depressed on the birth control pill. That's because it's affecting your gut flora, your intestinal flora. So now we've got children being born, and this is a long story, but the short of it is their intestines are not in good shape. They're being born with the wrong bacteria. You've got infants with reflux. You have people giving antipsychotic drugs to 4-year-olds. And this has to do with the intestinal tract. I had a woman with a failure to thrive child, just not growing. And I took more food out of the child's diet to bring back the intestinal tract, and it worked. Scary for the mother, but the child is now thriving. And all this autism spectrum stuff, the neurotransmitters are in the intestine. So as you heal the intestine, and I've seen this, I've seen a 4-year-old go from being on the spectrum to being off the spectrum within, it was 4 to 5 months.
Wow, incredible. So are you saying sugar is the crux of all the issues? Because I know
sugar is a huge piece of it.
My mom sent me a book last year about the sugar diet, getting sugar out of your diet. I forget what it is, but my mom's a very into health and nutrition as well, and tries to get me back on track and everything. And she sent me a book about sugar is the problem with all the diets.
Oh, listen, this is how I got started. At the age of 20, my diet was basically white sugar and white flour, and I got sick, and I went to a regular doc. He recommended an antidepressant. I went to a holistic physician. He said, Sarah, get off all white flour and white sugar, which was a total game stopper for me. It was like, holy cow, what the heck do you eat? Because I was the queen of sugar and chocolate and hot fudge sundaes and everything. But I tell you what, 7 days into that, the changes in my body were profound. I sat down with a teenager the other day. She had become a vegetarian just like I had. It was mac and cheese and pizza, and she wasn't feeling well. I was like, yep. We looked at her, what she'd eaten between lunch and breakfast and lunch, just breakfast and lunch. She was having, like a breakfast cereal and then a granola bar and peanut butter and jelly for lunch. And by the time just breakfast and lunch, there were 21 teaspoons of sugar wrapped into what she was eating. And
it adds up.
And this is what we're doing, Jamie. And people just go, oh, you have to be moderate. We haven't a clue what moderate is.
What about people that go on the high protein diets, the Atkins diet, they get rid of all the carbs? Are you a proponent of those weight loss techniques?
I'm not a proponent of that because it creates all kinds of
I know it's a precursor for heart disease. Even
Absolutely.
Dr. Atkins, who invented that, had heart disease.
Okay, take you back to the wilds again. How did we evolve? This is what I look at all the time. It's like, what's the basis of our biochemistry? If you're out in the middle of nowhere, what the heck are you eating? You're eating what's available, that's on the ground. You dig it up, leaves, whatever, and then the occasional skinny animal that goes running through.
But we're all carnivores by nature, right?
Well,
we're eating the buffaloes.
I haven't found a culture that hasn't had some animal protein in their diet.
Right.
However, I don't have my chart with you, but the chart I show my clients when I go to their homes is a chart that shows without question that the diet that is preponderance of plant-based food, like 90% of what you're eating is plant-based and 10% is animal-based. These are the societies that just don't see heart disease, cancer, diabetes. They don't know from it. It's not there, and it's Asia basically. And think about Chinese, Asian food. You pile a bunch of vegetables on a plate and have a few little pieces of meat sprinkled in.
Yeah,
and that is the diet that across the board. I don't care who you're looking at. Studies have gone on forever. This is the diet that creates happy, healthy people.
What about the artificial sweeteners? I mean, we talked about the white sugars. I know there's something to be said badly about those as well. I have been very bad with sugar recently, and I used to wonder why it took me 13 sugars in my coffee, and it would all just sink to the bottom, and I had anyway.
I explained to her she's getting past the saturation point of the liquid. She's putting in more than the liquid could even absorb.
That would be that would be correct.
Was he correct?
We're using it basically. Actually, sugar, are you ready for this? Sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding, man. I don't let it through my door. If it's in your house, it talks to you.
Yeah.
Hi.
I think it does. Well, letting the cigarettes go now for a week, I have been now trying to monitor my sugar intake also, because last thing I want to worry about too is gaining weight from it, because you hear that with quitting smoking. So now I have stopped with the regular sugar in my coffee, but I'm using the artificial sweeteners. And I found 2. I went from 13 regular sugars to now 2 equals. But what about the artificial sweetener? Everything's going to kill me though at some point. Like this.
Actually, everything doesn't, and that's a misnomer because you're looking at how people age in this country. You've got to stop comparing yourself to the norm. The norm in this country is deadly. If you're a part of the norm, you're sick. So you have got to be actually antisocial to be healthy in this country.
Yeah.
So that the artificial sweeteners are neurological killers. I've seen it. I had a client once that had these tics, okay, and she was about to go through these god awful neurological exams that are kind of like Middle Ages, sparking you here and there. And a friend of hers said, before you do that, just get off the diet sodas. And she did, and all of it went away, and the only time it came back was when she was at a restaurant, and inadvertently they gave her something with artificial sweetener in it. I can tell you it is derived originally from pesticides. The stuff is a neurotoxin. I wouldn't go near it. It is, and furthermore, it actually encourages more weight gain than sugar.
So if people could make...
your information is... Now, honey, what I tell people is, no, I haven't stopped my sweets, but I will use... But the rule of thumb is 1 teaspoon of sweetener a day. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a teaspoon of raw honey. Yeah. Well, now go back. Think about how we evolved. What was the sweetener we had? We had honey, and you had to go talk the bees and the bears out of it, right? It's pretty precious
sure that was
stuff.
difficult. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's pretty precious stuff. And then the occasional ripe fruit, not all over the place.
Yeah. Let me take a break here. Currently talking to Sarah Bingham. She is the founder of Fast Food Healing. She is a licensed nutritional consultant, and you can learn more about her services at fastfoodhealing.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.
What's up, business rock stars? Are you ready to bring out the CEO in you? Join Julianne Nichols, CEO of Focus on You Strategy, every other Friday on That Business Show. She'll be talking with other chief entrepreneurial officers about how they grew their businesses. Remember, you could join the conversation at Focus on You Strategies Focus Fridays Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. That's facebook.com/groups/Focus Fridays. Be the CEO of you.
I knew Mom wanted to stay at home. It's the center of her family, her life. But helping Mom stay in her home while managing mine was just too much. Honestly, it wasn't just about me. Mom didn't want me to be her caretaker. She wanted me to be her daughter. I felt so alone until I found out about Home Instead Senior Care. When we met the people at Home Instead, we just knew they were different. The experience was personal. And most importantly, for Mom and me, I get to be her daughter again.
Home Instead Senior Care. To us, it's personal.
Who doesn't have a smartphone these days? And of course, there's an app for everything. Well, almost everything. That's why the folks at Popcorn Apps started developing mobile applications. They saw people like you with genius ideas, unable to make those thoughts a reality. They develop applications for tens of thousands of dollars less than you'll find anywhere else, and will turn your idea into a reality in a matter of just a few months. Think you're not ready? Think again. They are your one-stop shop for mobile application development. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
At Vein 911, we will help you feel great again. Do you have restless legs, night leg cramps, or ankle swelling? Restless legs, cramping, swelling, and tired heavy legs are often symptoms of hidden vein disease. You do not have to have visible bulging veins to have the symptoms of vein disease. The vein care specialists at Vein 911 are uniquely qualified to evaluate and treat your veins. Are you unhappy with your previous vein treatment? Vein 911 succeeds where others fail. Call Vein 911 today at 855-VEIN-911. That's 855-834-6911 to book your free consultation. Vein 911. We will help you feel great again.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
How many times have you said to yourself, I wish there was an app for that? Stop wishing and start making the world better. Turn your brilliant idea into a profitable business by using Popcorn Apps. Their affordable app design will help get your blue sky idea or proven business to the next level at a fraction of the cost of other developers. They will help you get through all the steps needed to make your thoughts become live. See them at popcornapps.com with a K in popcorn, or call them at 727-415-6705 for your free consultation and pop your kernel of an idea into $1 million business and a world changer starting today.
Good morning. Still some slow traffic on westbound I-4 between 301 and 50th Street, and also approaching 275, also off the Howard Franklin Bridge and the Courtney Campbell Causeway, a bit slow between the Big Bridge and Rocky Point. Southbound Veterans Expressway, it's a bit slow between Van Dyke and Hutchinson. Crash being cleared in St. Pete, 66th Street, 38th Avenue North. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Urich. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by McDonald's. Sip into a great morning with McDonald's McCafe Coffee. McDonald's McCafe Coffee is made with sustainable sourced 100% Arabica beans and brewed hot and fresh just for you. Enjoy any size hot McCafe coffee for $1. Only at McDonald's for a limited time.
Today, a few clouds, breezy with a high 85. Tonight, mostly clear, low 68. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 86.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show. Now with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business. Talking about healthy living with Sarah Bingham, who is the founder of Fast Food Healing. Learn more at fastfoodhealing.com.
I think everything happens for a reason. I think Sarah's here specifically for me today. But it's I'm a little, I think, even startled just by everything I'm learning. And I want to say the things I already know and pretty much, knew of, but I don't know, it's not right here in front of you. I said, thank goodness I've quit smoking. I'd really be depressed right now. But one day at a time, we'll get there. You talk about the beige diet, and you're referring to kind of, the flour and the sugar, which thankfully I've cut back on the sugar a little bit. But how is that setting us up for addiction?
Yeah, people don't realize this, parents as well as adults. Addiction, and that can be food addiction, alcohol, drug addiction, again, is it's a neurological, your brain is looking for a fix. And I just said that, I think I said, that sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine.
Yeah, and I don't know if you said that during the break or during the...
Yeah, I can't either.
I can't, it's hard to believe.
But here's the thing, when your gut is out of balance, when the bad guy bacteria are winning, you are not digesting properly, and especially with gluten, which is wheat and rye and barley and oats, and with dairy products. Both of those are supposed to go through a 3-step process when you digest them. And when the bad guys are winning in your intestines, they get stuck at stage 2. And listen to the name of those chemicals. For gluten, it's called gluteomorphine. And for dairy, it's called casomorphine. Are you hearing the morphine there? This is an opiate, and it goes through your intestine, into your bloodstream, right up to your brain, right through your blood-brain barrier. It is a fix. So why are pizza and ice cream, and if you look at the addictive foods, if you look at what we're doing, it's white flour, dairy, and sugar.
So how do we get out of this mess then? What should we do? It's all about baby steps too. You can't just go in there and say, all right, I'm done with this, and here I'm living the beige diet now. How do you make these initial steps?
First step that I recommend literally is begin to read your labels, and if it's got sugar in it in any form other than raw honey, leave it on the shelf. So that's about 80% of the products in a supermarket.
I was going to say, what's left after that?
Well, and that's what I said. When I first did that, it was like, geez. But you know what? There's quite a bit left, and it's simple food. I'm just taking you down to simple. That's all.
I can't eat Crystal Burgers anymore then at that point, I guess.
I had a problem with Crystal Burger in college. I haven't been there since,
I don't even know what a Crystal Burger is. That's where I'm at.
Well, I would say you're missing out, but apparently you're not.
The perfect late night food after at the bars.
There you go. I mean, what am I missing out? People say, oh, it's too expensive. Just heard about a guy. He's in his 50s, losing his teeth because of his diet. It's a $25,000 repair. So, it's more expensive. It's too expensive to eat that way. Yeah, not so much. You're going to pay now or pay later, period. And if you're eating less meat than more, then the better quality meat evens out as far as cost. But the first step really is to pay attention. Take a look at your labels. Go home, I dare you, and look at your label right there. Oh no, that's take a look at the labels. Oh, you've got a Coke right there, right? Okay, look at it right there. How many grams of sugar are in that Coke?
Well, I have the Diet Coke, so
you have the Diet.
So I have the artificial. I have the aspartame in there.
That's great.
Yeah, that doesn't even sound
good. That's really good for the neurological system. All right, at any rate, most Cokes are about 10 teaspoons of sugar. If you look at the grams of sugar, let's say it says 40 grams, 40, divide by 4. That means you're drinking 10 teaspoons of sugar, okay? So whatever the grams are, divide by 4. But the biggest thing is get the drug out of your house. It's a drug for your children. It's a drug for you. Raw honey doesn't work the same way. It just doesn't. And a scientist will say, oh, they're the same. They're just glucose and sucrose. But I've experienced different. One, way harder to OD on honey.
So people could make their coffee with honey as a sweetener.
Absolutely.
They can make tea with the raw honey as a sweetener.
And also get used to it. Yes, start there, and then get used to it black. It's a transition. And your taste buds are adulterated by design. You have the the corporate
dictate,
manufacturing taste buds, they have. If you've ever watched the movie Super Size Me, have you ever seen that movie?
Yes.
No. Oh my gosh. There's a moment there. This guy starts out on Whole Foods, and then he's eating nothing but McDonald's. He starts out by throwing up, which is a correct response by the body. But then there's a turning point around 7 to 10 days where all of a sudden he does not feel good unless he's eating that food.
Right.
And that's the addictive. That's where they've got you. They're like pushers. You've got to understand, you are being led by your nose. And it's like, that just infuriates me. It's like, who do you want to have controlling your life? Yeah. You or them.
Yeah.
They've got you, buddy.
Food addiction's a very real thing. I suffer from it. I have a hard time, when I get those cravings for those different food items, it's hard to overcome. And then when you throw stress into the mix, I mean, it's almost like you can't win in this environment. It's all, and especially if you're in the business community, you're going to events, drinks around.
Good point. And
tough.
Stress is ×2 when you've got the bad guy bacteria winning and when you're taking in sugar. So is anxiety an issue in our country? Holy cow. I mean, the biggest groups of mothers that have come out to talks that I've given, the title of the talk was Anxiety in Your Children.
The good thing about all this, though, is your body is quick to adjust if you eliminate.
It's unbelievable.
It is quick to adjust.
I'm telling you, within 7 days, the transformation.
If you can get through that. Yeah.
But that's what I do. I hold my clients' hands. I am with you for 7 days going, come on, one more day. And after a month, your taste buds do indeed begin to change. And the stuff that used to taste good doesn't. It's not enticing at all.
We got about a minute and a half left. Go ahead and tell the listeners out there, who is your ideal client? Who do you work with? How do your services work?
My ideal client is someone who's fed up of being fed up by the industry. So you've had it, and you have a family, you have children you're concerned about, you're running a business, and it's like, you know what? My body is. I'm getting up and dragging my body around, and that's a pain in the neck. I need to have more energy to run my business. So I come to your home, and I sit with you in your kitchen for an hour and a half, getting to know your full history, your lifestyle, so I tailor it to you. And then we follow up via video conferencing.
All right. And
so
people
never
can
never need to leave home.
And people can get in touch with you. It's 813-321-5303. Again, 813-321-5303, or visit fastfoodhealing.com. Sarah, good discussion. Thank you so much for being in the studio. And you can learn more, again, fastfoodhealing.com. And again, the Business Symposium is going on tomorrow, so be sure to pick up a ticket today at tampabayradio.com. And you can get tickets tomorrow at the door. And again, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Hilton Hotel, 950 Lake Carillon Drive. We hope to see you all there. Again, tickets are $59, and it includes lunch.
It's going to be a great time.
You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie and Kelly, where business becomes show business.